We're here with a legend that's Roger Cleveland, being the foremost wedge designer in the history of the game.
Only in my mind.
And I think one of the questions from where you started now, what's been the biggest development in wedge design over the years? What's allowed you, in terms of whether it's a material or a tech change, to make the biggest changes in the wedge heads?
Well, we actually are doing a lot of putting a lot of science into perfecting certain things. There have been some great wedges in the past, and unfortunately, you don't need AI in a wedge just yet. Okay, you don't need to hit it 190 yards just yet, although there's some guys doing it. But you want to have maximum control, so you want to have a groove that's right up to the limit, and that's what we have done. Our guys, our R&D department, figured out a way, the last generation, to actually put positives in between each groove. So we have micro positives rather than going down in the face, so that creates a little more spin. Edges create spin. Yeah. And so we created a new groove, and that's why we call it Jaws, because it creates more spin. And, teeth and, the movie.
It's a notably different feel. It's a notably different feel to the face this year, in particular.
Yeah, well, the feel, we also worked on the feel, and those are some things that we brought science in. And the feel of this wedge is amazing. So you have spin, which is especially effective in an area of 50 to 80 yards, in that area where you really, it's important to have that. And it's not a huge amount of spin, but it's about 400 to 500 more RPM spin than that, and that's really key. And that's more than anybody else.
And in terms of with the pores on the face, the outward groove, does that change the way you have to look at the I guess materials, but the acoustics of the wedge? Is that something that's a consideration as well?
The acoustics really is determined by some of the weight distribution up the face. One of the things that also we did, not only feel, but we have developed soles for different types of golfers and different types of conditions that are really important, because this is where you need to get up and down. You have a tough, tight lie, and you got to have ultimate confidence. And so we developed options for you, and fitting options, and we have numbers on them. It really isn't the bounce, but we have an 8, 10, and 12. And so if you're steep, have a lot of wrist set, which is not really advised in your 40-yard shot.
That's why I'm inconsistent with them.
Well, a lot of people do that. They duplicate their big swing for the short shot. And what you really have to do, if you have a lot of set, you actually have to slow down. Okay, to get this down, because there's so much set, so big of a swing. You really want to have less sets, so you can actually have faster rotation of the body. So, but anyway, we have two options.
You got a lesson as well.
We try. So we have some options, really good options, if you are steep. One is an X grind. See how narrow it is? Okay, and it has relief in the heel and the toe. And so if you like to open the ball and you're steep, this is the guy. This is like a mini sure-out. This is so easy to hit. This is really fun. And if you're steep, this is great. Soft sand, soft conditions, wonderful. And then you get into some other, we have a 10 and a C grind, and both of those are the same, except for the C grind has relief in the heel and the toe. So, and this has 13 degrees of bounce, so does the S, but it's constant all the way across. So if somebody doesn't need to open up the face, doesn't want to, gets confused, then the S is perfect. And then we have a new model, which is a lower bounce. It's a W with an 8, and it's really, really good on tour. It's wider, not this wide, but it narrows down so you can open it up, get the leading edge under. But still, this it's wider, and this is really good in firm conditions. So
I think the low bounce in the higher lofts, particularly, certainly for UK turf.
Well, it's low bounce meaning
turf,
10. That's low. You don't want to go lower than that.
But I think those sort of turfs for us,
that's
a great it's a great addition for our kind of turfs back home. That in that higher loft, because our sands not quite as soft, tends to pack down a little bit more. So that was actually something when we saw the line from East, we were really pleased to see, just because it means not having to grind quite as much.
That's right. It's taking me out of a job, actually. I'm not sure. I had some job security, but not anymore.
I realise just keep designing too many good wedges. But so I guess when
We
people
have a
talk
couple
about
finishes now. We have a tour gray, chrome, and soon to have a raw finish like the tour guys.
Yeah. I guess one of the aspects when people talk about bounce, it's a combination of bounce and sole width.
It's the width and the angle.
Yeah.
You need it. It's a skid plate.
Yeah.
You need that. You don't want it. That leading edge is not your friend. You want to stay away from that. You actually, on shots of 50 yards in, you actually want to put the sole on the ground before the ball and let it slide through the ball.
And that's
why
where
it's important.
And I guess that's where where potentially with sort of taking weight and moving it around, actually, that allowed you to get that extra width on the sole without compromising head weight.
That's right. And also, if you're so wide, when you open it up, you can't get the leading edge lower. That's why we relieve the heel, so that allows that sole to sit down. So a lot of time and effort, but the folks will really like the feel and the performance for sure.
When you think how long Roger's been doing this, how long it's taken to refine over the years.
And also the shape. We modified the shape. It's a beautiful shape. Everybody seems to like it a lot.
Yeah, the line from the hosel through the leading edge, that's certainly a little bit neater this year.
Yes.
I think there's some of the other wedges in the past have had a little bit more of a kink and a sort of an offset and an onset again.
Well, you have to. I'm a fan of having a tight radius heel toe on the leading edge, because especially in your higher loft, and then it gets bigger or straighter on the radius, and as you go down the loft. But the higher lofts, you have to have that tightness, so when you open it up, that leading edge stays low. You got to get under the ball. So,
well, some great insights from Roger. Roger, thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
We really appreciate the chat. And
by the way, we have a inline, no upcharge graphite shaft. Okay, it's 80 grams. It's right here, catalyst. Okay, and for the folks that have graphite sets, and they're old like me, okay, and they want to have a little lighter wedge shaft, ideal.
And is that something that you've had a hand in the design of that shaft alongside them?
Absolutely. We have a special ladies shaft, and we use the W in a 50, 60, 56, and 52. Marvelous. It's light. It's 60 grams. You know, they love it.
Perfect.
Normally, ladies get the hand-me-downs from their husbands, and it looks like they're picking up a pickaxe to chop some wood because it's so
club's
heavy.
an appropriate word. Yeah.
Anyway, we have a lot of options for you.
That's fantastic, and these will all be in the studio, ready for us to fit.
Absolutely.
And get all tuned in for your short game.
Please.
Perfect.